everybody. It is Tuesday, January 21. It's just 3 a.m. over there on the East Coast, so this is quite early. The market doesn't open up for another 6 hours. But again, we're going to give you a little hint, clue, and guideline as to what we're looking at today. But first and foremost, we have nothing on the schedule today. Nothing. 11:30, there is the 3 and the 6 month bill auction. 1 o'clock, the 52-week bill auction. That's it. Yesterday, as you already watched, if you were watching, the volatility of Donald Trump has already begun. Coincidentally, when this high was placed, 60.7825 over here on the S&P futures, it was at the exact moment when Donald Trump and Joe Biden were standing outside of the Capitol building, the rotunda, whatever fucking building that was. Right at that moment is when that high was placed. And then you saw your little bit of volatility here with the Wall Street Journal having made that spike when they said no day one tariffs. And then your drop, your big drop that came here overnight, right here, right around 7 o'clock at night, dropping down there into the gap that was created over there on the weekend or on Friday, into that gap, down to that 50-day moving average, and all because Donald Trump made it clear.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Thanks for the tip.
And that's where we're at. So here we are floating nowhereness right now. But before we go further, you will have to indulge me because, as a provider of guidance, as a provider of some of the most ridiculous percentage gains attainable on 0 DTE SPX credit spreads, with a track record greater than 85% wins, once in a while, I get a little bug up my ass, and when I get a bug up my ass, I will scorch the fucking earth to kill that bug. And I bring you on here, right? January 13th, on Monday, and you guys saw, we had an amazing fucking week last week. Amazing. Boom, 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 boom. Amazing. On Monday last week, I get a message, middle of the morning. Your customer canceled automatic payments. Arman Candevani. Canceled payments. No fucking problem. I got no issues with that. Shit happens. People move on. It doesn't matter. But then this is what fucking bugs me. Is a few minutes later, I get a fucking inquiry. I get 2 inquiries. Arman Candevani is facing an issue with their order. The buyer stated that they never received the item. Here's the buyer's message for you, which is a default message. I never authorized this. I want my money back. So I send over, because again, when I see this, knowing that the money from this goes directly to feed the fucking poor street kids, the homeless fucking children, put them in school, put clothes on their backs, feed them. I go out and I check the emails. Okay, Adam Devani, when did he come in? October 24th. Yeah, okay, October 25. Look at all these emails that he's opened all this time. Hey, wait a minute. There's a little bit more. Let me go back. Look at all this. As of recent, opened January 6th, opened January 3, opened January 3. And I'm going back through all these dates. So I go into PayPal. I tell them, no, fuck this motherfucker. I've had these scam motherfuckers come to me before. No, here's everything. And PayPal always sits on my side. So then I get an update today. Hey, you have received a case. What's happening in this case? The buyer stated that they did not make this purchase. So then that's where I get to the scorch earth. And I go out and I look for Arman Candevani. You scam artist, piece of shit, independent mental health care professional, bullshit scam artist motherfucker.
fuck you, suffer in silence, you're a fucking piece of shit, you're no good, and you're a worthless fucking person to humanity. You contribute nothing. Go back to your fucking rock that you live under and never fucking come out again, you worthless piece of shit!
And I go over onto your fucking Twitter. And I go over here and I see your little fucking profile picture. You fucking scam artist. You piece of shit motherfucker. Where do you live? Oh, no, Stony Brook, New York. Nah, we go back, we look through our Google search. He's got another update over here. Where's that update? That update over here. 63 years old, living in Mountain View, California. I will bury you under that fucking mountain, you scam artist piece of shit. So then I go over here and I see that he's got a fucking Instagram. Enigmatic Psychotherapy. Well, Mr. Enigmatic Psychotherapy and your January 6th post over here, you got a brand new comment. Scam artist, piece of shit you are. Dirty motherfucker. So, back to everything, and I apologize if I interrupted your Tuesday schedule prior to us making better than 100% credit tomorrow. The S&P is trading right now at 60.11, 60.1150. It's up 14 points. Like I shared, we've been gapping up consistently. We've been gapping up consistently all through the year. Does not have any emphasis or any magnetism to where we close. The only thing, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the month, is I would prefer that we end January. I would prefer, personal preference, that we end January above 5903.26 where we began. And the reason for it is because we produced a red month in December. It's simply a preference. It has no bearing on where we are right now, January 21, as we have gone from very instantly red at the beginning of the month, the beginning of the year, to green, to going red right after Jimmy Carter, and then turning green again. Standard protocol is we should maintain staying green for the month. The problem we have with that is you've got the FOMC meeting and your big tech earnings coming up. So you guys have your trade. You had it on Friday. I mentioned it again in the email yesterday. I mentioned it again over there in the alert room and the spread room earlier today. It's not for today, Tuesday, January 21. It's for Wednesday, January 22. We let this thing do a little bit of breathing. And I've got a little clip to share with you here at the end. But quickly, I'll go over here with the QQQ. And no, this current window is not too small. The current window, or the view here on the QQQ, as you see, 524 where we hit there on Friday morning and sold off immediately down to 513 before getting that, just not rally, but sustained health to keep everything alive. 524, where we went up to. Over here on the IWM, again, the same thing. I've gone over that 227, 227, 227. This shouldn't be there. This should be down here. 227, 227. We went right to 227 there. We sold right off. Wasn't a big sell-off, but we sold off down there to 224.67. So bring you on to your charts here real quick. And this is what we're looking at overnight, just looking at the ETFs themselves. DIA, not so significant. Here is your IWM over on the right on the top. And as you can see, we are right at 227. So there will be an alert that is posted there in the email and also in the alert room to be looked at on IWM today, tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. QQQ, we're fractionally here. We're right at 523. I'll move this on to a 2-day, 5 minutes, see if we can get everything on there. And there we are. As you can see, coming up here, 523, we've got the 524.05 right above, which we fractionally missed. And we are cruising right along that resistance area. 20-day, 50-day, 10-day, 5-day, all well below inside of that gap that was created on Friday overnight. So again, being up here where we are, I see no benefit of going and chasing it further. And by the way, there was news that came out overnight on Apple and them having a little bit more than minus 18% in their Q4 sales over in China, minus 18% year over year. So here again, SPX, looking at it from a detailed chart, which is mine. This red gap, which fills over here at 59.37, 59.78 being the lows that we created there over on Friday morning. So a little bit of wiggle room. The big 6,009 sitting right there in front of everybody's face. 6,982 to be precise. You can see how it played here, all there on Friday, and where you filtered off to. Again, your 50-day moving average being way down here, 59.67, which, again, coming over onto the ES futures, we came down and made contact with that overnight. So, again, looking at this as being a very trapped little tiny window. But before we leave off and bringing you on to the bigger, broader, wider view of things, again, this being the full moon, your full moon was placed on the actual full moon date right there on January 13th. And here we have bounce. Now, the new moon, if I can go and look at that real quick, a little bit too much information for you for a Tuesday morning, but bear with me because the email's going out early. And you will be able to digest it more than enough times before the market opens. The new moon is, again, not until January 29. Very significant, obviously, for very large reasons. FOMC's on the 28th. Big tech earnings start reporting on the 29th. Looking at the new moons, and again, looking at the new moons themselves. And again, you can see how these new moons do come into play. They come into place. Now, with what I am sharing with you after the end of this video, right at the end of when I shut up and stop speaking, this new moon is either going here or it's going way the fuck up here. And I can't see the one going up to the top. So have a good Tuesday morning. Again, apologize for the scorched earth. Done it before. Wanted it out there in public. Don't want anybody else getting busted by this scam artist and getting fucked around because this guy is a piece of shit. This is the reason why I have said, and I will continue to stand by it, I am ready to shut this service down just because I don't want to deal with pieces of shit like that.
In just 2 days, you can witness one of the most anticipated astronomical events. From January 21st to 27th, 6 planets will finally appear aligned and gathered in the night sky. Then, on January 26th, Mercury will join the event, completing a rare 7-planet parade. However, you may need a telescope to spot the faint planets, like Uranus and Neptune. The good news is that you'll have more than 2 weeks to witness this event. Simply look towards the western horizon shortly after sunset, as this is when the planets will be visible before they set below the horizon.
That's all, folks.